In this video, I will share with you 5 steps what you should do if the guy you're dating or seeing is not over his ex and still has feelings for someone else. Hello, my name is Greta Bereisaite. I'm dating and relationship coach for women. For the awesome high-value women secrets, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I upload new videos every Wednesday and Sunday. And just before I will share with you those 5 steps of what you can do if he still has feelings for someone else, don't forget to take my free self-awareness test to find out are you a woman of high value or low value, which I will drop down in the video description box below. And if you like my merch, chase goals and not the drama, as always you can get it in my YouTube store. So the step number 1 is to watch out for the signs. Does he still have feelings for her? And what are those signs? And different signs mean different things. So what do I mean by that? For example, if you get signs such as he starts to naturally, really casually mention his ex here and there, I would not overthink it. Because you like it or not, we all have exes. We did create bonds with our exes. So when we meet someone new, it's only natural that an ex could linger in your mind for a little while. So if he mentions his ex here and there and it comes across really casual, I personally would not look at it as a major red flag, as when he will start to get to know you better and create a deeper bond with you, the ex will naturally fade away. Now the other type of sign that he's still not over an ex is when he actually tries to have deep conversations with you about her. So it could be good, it could be bad. To be honest, it doesn't really matter as long as he talks about her really deeply and he finds excuses constantly to bring her up. Your alarm bells at this point should be really ringing, as this is a very clear sign that he's not over his ex and definitely not ready for anything serious with you. How do you handle if you are with this type of guy and you feel like you really like him? Well, the most important thing that I could recommend you here is don't be his therapist. It's not your job to be for him every 2 seconds whenever he wants to cry over his ex. Anything, if he brings up the topics about his ex, I would recommend you to change the topic ASAP or to gently get out of that situation. So for example, you guys are on a date and he brings up a topic about an ex. Try and change the topic by getting some water, or saying that you need to give a quick call to a friend, or using the ladies' room. Try to change the topic, get out of that situation. As the last thing you want is to talk about his ex through the whole date and leave a date feeling like you just had a coaching session, being the therapist, rather than having the actual date. Now the most dangerous signs to look out for that he's not over his ex is he is in touch with his ex daily, calls her his friend and talks to her non-stop. Now ladies, this is a very low value scenario, as this guy doesn't have self-control, any kind of boundaries, and is either very toxic, and this has been his pattern that he's been doing with all the exes. Or he could be deeply attached and doesn't want to let her go, therefore he's still holding on to her while using you as an ego stroke in the meantime. And ladies, if this is the case, your best option here is to let him go completely. Number 2 step is to find out, are they the real signs, or is it just him trying to provoke you, make you jealous, create a competition, or to see will you get insecure? And what are the difference between two? So for example, if he's attached, he will bring up the conversations about her naturally. You will see through his body language the feelings for her and hurt, and he will mention her. He will be deeply focused on her. On the other hand, if his goal is to make you jealous, if his goal is to make you insecure, If his goal is to create a competition between you and an ex, then he will be bringing up the conversations about his ex with a little grin on his face. His body language will come across very confident, and after this game or provocation, his focus will be on you rather than an ex. His focus will be on your reaction to the situation rather than on his ex. How do you handle these provocations once you recognize them? Well, you ignore them by showing that you're secure and confident, and you will not compete with his ex because there is simply no need. Number 3. Now, if you know that he got out of a relationship pretty recently, the next step to do is to observe or to pay attention to detail what he says about his past relationship. Was it toxic? She broke his heart and she broke up with him. As if he is heartbroken, still in love with her, but he's trying to move on and he's taking you out on the dates. It is still possible to turn things around, but it is much harder and it takes much more time. Step number 4. So let's say he's still in love with her and he still has deep feelings for her. But can he get over her and fall in love with you more than he ever was with her? Now the answer is yes, he can, if you both get on really well, have a deep connection, and he is attracted to you. But how is it possible? What's the secret to it? Well, the answer is very simple. If you will be better than an ex, eventually he will fall for you and will get completely over her. Think about it, ladies. Let's say a guy broke up with you and you were in love, but he wasn't treating you right. You met someone new who actually treats you much better, but you still have feelings for an ex even though he wasn't treating you right. Then after dating this new guy for a couple of months and getting his amazing treatment, you're still thinking about your ex because in your heart you still feel like you have some unresolved feelings for him, like you still love him. So you end up meeting up with him for closure or curiosity, perhaps to get some clarity in your life. And then what happens next? Your ex lets you down again because originally you guys broke up because he wasn't treating you right. That is then exactly the same second you realize that you have something great now and are ready to let the ex completely go. Sometimes you need to meet up with an ex to recognize the diamond next to you, and other times you don't. And exactly the same way goes with men. So the answer is simple. If he will see you as better than his ex, eventually he will fall in love with you and will fall out of love with her. And now the step number 5. But how is it possible? How to be so good that a guy would fall out of love with an ex and would fall in love with you? Well, first of all, this takes patience. It can take months. You will need a lot of self-control. You will have to know your value and worth and be confident in yourself by not comparing yourself to her. You will have to behave in a very high value way, which means basically letting him pursue you, letting him take you out on dates, controlling your emotions, setting in healthy boundaries, etc. And ladies, if you want to know how to be a woman of high value, check out my video right here. And when it comes to him, ladies, he really needs to be worth it for you to even consider giving it a shot, as dealing with someone who is not over someone else is a lot to take in, is very, very draining. And to give you a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel, I want to finish it with a story. I had a client a long time ago, and she met her guy. When he approached her, his ex just dumped him 2 weeks before he met my client. He was completely heartbroken. His ex was like the love of his life. Anyway, him being a man and looking at my client more like a rebound rather than anything else, he started to ask her out. Little did he know that my client was a very, very high value woman. So my client, even though she knew the story with his ex, she also knew that he's quite a good guy and decided to give it a shot. So what did she do? She let him pursue her, she let him ask her on the dates, she let him charm her, she let him take her out. All at the same time, when the ex topics would come up, she would not be his therapist and would remove herself from the topic, from the situation whenever he would mention her. Now, long story short, it took much longer for him to fully fall in love with her than for someone who didn't have feelings for an ex. However, when he did fall in love with her, eventually the ex was out of the picture completely. I think to get it all resolved where the ex was out of the picture completely, it took about 6 to 8 months. So my client was very, very patient. Saying this, it was all worth it because we are now in a very, very happy relationship for over 5 years, and he treats her as the diamond that she is. So ladies, if you liked this video, please press like. Let me know in the comments below what did you think, and have you ever dated a guy who still has feelings for someone else? How did that go? I would love to see your stories in the comments below. Join Greta's High Value Women School, where we are all in the same boat, learning how to be women of high value and bring out the best in our men. Follow me on my Instagram. My Instagram is called Ladies Relationship Coach. And for one-on-one group coaching or coaching with a member of my team, book me through my website, which is called Bereisaite.com. And if you would like to know how to get your ex back, how to stay attractive via text, games men play on women, how to control your emotions, how to love yourself, or perhaps you have a little hobby that you would like to make into an online business, I have all of these packages for sale on my website, Bereisaite.com. Thank you so much for watching, my queens. Kisses from Dorset. Mwah.